If everybody had an ocean across the USA, then everybody'd be served.
So here we are under the hot lights in the Diabetes Health booth, and we're joined not by someone making an insulin pump or a meter or a diabetes educator, but by another Scott.
Scott.
Welcome to the show.
Nice. Thanks for having me.
We've written about this young man in our magazine before. His well, how do we say it? You surf.
I do.
You surf. I just found out he grew up in Hawaii on the Big Island, which is a wonderful place. And tell us how you when you got diabetes.
I was first diagnosed when I was 16 years old, and I did live in California at that time. And I mean, it was a devastating, terrible day, just like most people's diagnosis day. But I went from being the kid at snack time at school and eating cookies and drinking soda to like hating life. I mean,
so you were running to the bathroom, you were thirsty,
Yep.
You're losing weight.
And I didn't know what the signs and symptoms of being a diabetic were at that time. And I mean, I was going to the bathroom 5 or 6 times at night, and just terrible, drinking gallons of water at night. And after finding out that I was a diabetic and then hearing all the signs and symptoms and what to look for, I was like, wow, I should have known a long time ago. My mom and I moved to the Big Island of Hawaii, and my surfing career just took off from there, and I haven't looked back since.
So you were already surfing. How old were you when you started surfing?
I was 5 years old. My uncle gave me a surfboard for my 5th birthday and pushed me into a wave, and I mean, I have it on videotape, and it's
your first
classic.
wave?
Yeah,
you caught it?
First wave, I stood up and rode it all the way to the beach and came running up to the camera with the board in tow and just laughing, smiling.
Ventura County line, Santa Cruz and Australia's Caribbean, all over Manhattan.
So you were pretty fit then when you got diabetes.
Yeah, actually, my doctor came up to me, and everyone was kind of baffled that I even had diabetes. I mean, I was on the water polo team, the swim team, the dive team. I was like
Mr. Water.
Yeah, I weighed less than 100 pounds, and that was the start of 9th grade. And actually, after being diagnosed and starting on insulin therapy, I gained a significant amount of muscle mass and not really weight, because I didn't get a bigger or more fat content, but it changed. The whole lot of me changed.
So you started out. So how long ago was that?
That was when I was 16. So
Okay.
5 years ago. I'm 21 now.
Okay. So you started on NPH insulin, or?
Yeah, I was taking my long-acting insulin every morning and every night, and just constant. I mean, I was taking more shots than any kid that I'd ever heard of with diabetes. I was taking 10 shots a day, just because I was so used to constantly eating with my friends and constantly snacking at snack time and going surfing and eating and then going to get a hamburger, and it was a really hard time for me to take control of it.
Yeah. So were you testing a lot?
I wasn't. I was actually really in bad denial that I was a diabetic.
After 6 hours of school, I had enough for the day. I hit the radio dial and tuned it up all the way. I got dance, 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 now the beats are right on the school. Dance, 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 right there.
I was just over the thought of pricking my finger to test my blood sugar, and after a while, I'd actually stopped taking my shots and just lying, saying I took them, and really went through a hard time in my life.
That can make you pretty sick.
Yeah, I was getting sick constant, and really kind of like more of a mental problem. Like, I knew bad things were happening to me, and it was like I didn't care. I didn't care that there were going to be complications, and that I was going to one day have all these problems. And finally, I got a reality check and snapped into it.
Did something happen?
I got forced into going to a camp for kids with diabetes, and that changed everything. Seeing that I needed to see that I wasn't the only kid with diabetes,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
there were others out there just like me who were living a normal life and eating whatever they want, and found out they were diabetic and that they were living still. So that was a big changing point for me. It made me kind of snap into shape.
And at what point did you decide to go on the insulin pump?
About a year after I got diagnosed, I went to my first camp, and that's when things started to change.
But that convinced you this is something you wanted to get.
Yeah, it definitely convinced me that I wanted to stop taking shots, and that this was a great way to do that.
And so, how do you surf with the insulin pump?
I always test my blood sugar, or try to test my blood sugar before I go surfing, just to make sure. I usually put my blood sugar hopefully in the 120s to 130s, and then go surf. I disconnect and leave it in my glove box.
Okay.
I actually just recently, Medtronic's working on coming out with a waterproof case for their pump, and I just got the first sample. It hasn't been approved yet and all that logistic part, but I'm really excited to go home and try it.
Would you do that? You want to keep the pump on while you surf?
Yeah, I would like. I have the constant monitoring system in it, or in me all the time, and I'd really like to see what my blood sugar does, and because it seems like every time I come in from surfing, my blood sugar is good. It's either 100 or, I mean, it could be up 150, but for surfing for 4 hours and not being connected to a pump, I usually think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to go home and see what it's like to surf. And I was thinking about putting my pump on suspend and just looking at the constant monitoring system to see what.
Do you have that on now?
Yeah.
Can you show us?
Yeah. Actually, I have it in the case, so.
Oh, wow. And this is plugged into you now?
Yeah.
So what's it say your blood sugar is?
I don't have my constant monitoring on.
Oh, this is the pump.
Yeah, that's the pump with
Okay.
with the waterproof case.
Oh, that's the waterproof case. Okay. That's pretty cool.
But it there's a lot of things like about this is the second generation, and they're trying to come out with a third generation before it hits the market and it's done. But supposedly in a couple months it's supposed to be out there.
So how often are you using the continuous monitor?
Pretty constantly. Today I took the day off of it, but I use it a lot. I try to. It's made a really big impact on my A1C and all my blood sugar levels, just because I set my settings really tightly. So, I mean, I have the alarm go off when it's 60, and I have it go off when it's 100. So I have a 40 milligram window, and it's changed a lot.
You don't want to go over 100?
No, I've been trying to bring my A1C down for a while and get it down into the 6s, because it's been in the 7s just lingering. And the last time I got my A1C tested, it was 6.8. So,
Wow, congratulations.